Empire Broadcasting presents the Professionals Roundtable with Michael David, 9 to 2 p.m. Hear what's hot in the professional world. Timely topics to propel your career to the next level. Professionals Roundtable, 9 to 2 p.m. exclusively on Empire Broadcasting.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Empire Radio. I'm your host, Michael David, and today we have with us at the round table, he is the photographer and owner at Bar Gallery. It's none other than Rick Vierkandt. Hello, Rick. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Michael?
Oh, great. Just tripping over myself. So the correct pronunciation of Rick's name is Rick Vierkandt. So tell us, Rick, who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm a pet photographer based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and I photograph animals and pets that people have, and primarily dogs. So that's what I do.
Rick, what made you want to go into photography in the first place?
Well, you know, I had a lot of photographers that I followed, famous photographers, Ansel Adams, and wildlife photographer Tom Mangelson, and they just kind of inspired me to go out and capture some of those photographs that I saw them do of wildlife. And so I started my career with wildlife instead of actual pet photography. I did wild animals when I started. So I wanted to capture what I saw out in the nature.
And how's that working out for you? You know, do you feel that your approach is different at all from that of other photographers?
It is different. I have had several years of dog training experience, and being around animals has helped me to be able to understand the language and the behavior of the pet that I'm photographing or the dog that I'm photographing, and it usually helps to capture a better moment. You know, if you haven't worked with a lot of dogs before, it can be a little hard to photograph them, even if you're a really good photographer. But when you mix up both the photography skills and the animal skills, you get some pretty amazing images that I think are unique.
You know, I'm not sure if it's done on purpose, Rick, and obviously you would be the one to know. But what I find in a lot of your photos that I haven't seen, or maybe I just haven't noticed in other photos of dogs and pets, is there seems to be a type of focus on the eyes of your animals. Would you say that that's correct?
That is 100% correct. I don't like a lot of the images where the dog's looking out into the distance. I like the animal or the dog to be looking right at the camera so that you can see 100% what their demeanor is and, you know, their personality. It's all in the eyes.
So what is the first step when a dog or a pet comes to you?
The first step is introductions, and that's, you know, getting the pet used to a new person, a new environment, if that's the case, and just getting him used to me being in that situation. So the first thing I do is greet the dog in a manner or the animal in a manner that they're going to be a lot more comfortable, and they're going to have a good interaction with me when we're photographing them. So, you know, the camera's usually in my hand just so they see it, but it's kind of kneeling down if it's a smaller dog and getting onto their level and you know, interacting with them, petting them, and letting them sniff me and get used to my smells, I guess.
Right. Or in other words, getting that comfortability built between you and the pet before anything.
That's correct.
I would imagine that to a certain extent, photographing pets is probably a little bit more, or probably a lot of bit more difficult than photographing children. Would you agree?
Well, I've done pets so long that for me, I would much rather photograph a dog. If you haven't photographed a lot of dogs, then yeah, it would be a lot more difficult. For me, it seems like every once in a while when I do like a family session and there's a younger kid and the family pet, I still seem to make those like squeaky noises or the you know, the snaps that you do to get a dog's attention, and the kid kind of looks at you like, hey, you know, I speak English and I understand what you're saying, and you don't need to whistle at me.
Right. I have to admit, Fred, I'm sorry, Rick, I'm not sure if you will recall, but my favorite picture that I've seen so far on your website is the picture of Fred. Fred, the dog portrait. It's this dog who's in training. He's in California. He's training to be a service dog, and he's in he's in the Venetian.
Yep.
Do you recall?
Yeah, I do. So Fred was in training to be a service dog. He was in with rescue out of California called Marley's Mom. It's a very popular rescue, and I reached out to them and I said, hey, I know you guys have a younger yellow lab, and I'd love to take him some places that maybe we can't take the normal pet. The Venetian, of course, is not necessarily a pet-friendly place on the Vegas Strip, but we obviously, since he's in training, it's good for him to reach different environments, and we took him all around that day. We went to the Venetian, we went to the Vegas Boulevard sign, and I just really liked the shot of him at the Venetian. It's a unique shot that only a few dogs can get because of it not being a pet-friendly place.
Right. Would you say that some dogs or some dog breeds are more photogenic than others?
I like all dog breeds, and I think that some of the more unique breeds have a different look, and people like that. I've photographed some dogs that have had teeth removed, so their tongue sticks out, and while they look different than a traditional dog, the person who has them loves that, and it's a unique trait of that dog that makes each one kind of different than the other dogs.
When you're taking a picture, do you take the picture more for the sentiment or the embodiment of the dog, or more for your client, the person?
So I try to do a little bit of both. I tell my clients that I can get what they want. So if there's something specific they want, a lot of times a client will say, my dog always looks out the fence, and I want a picture of his rear end looking out the fence. Well, that's not, that might be a memory that they're going to recall on years and years down the road. And then I also give them a shot that is, a nice photo that they can remember the dog's face and going back to getting their attention and their eyes looking at the camera. So that it's a little bit different than what the client asks for at times, but they appreciate all of the photos, but I make sure that they get some that are, timeless.
Absolutely, and I think that anyone who's gotten photos of their pets, photos that they have, pets that they've had, and pets that they currently have, it takes a certain place in your heart, and it's kind of like a kid. You want normal pictures of your kids. Everybody wants to put their kids and their pets in all these crazy ways, and that's cute. You want a butt in the fence. That's nice. But when you have visitors come over, you don't want to show them a butt in the fence. So we thank you so much, Rick, for coming on. We want to send everyone to your website, which is barkgallery.com, barkgallery.com. They can also email rick@barkgallery.com. That's rick@barkgallery.com. You can also go ahead and phone directly at 702-204-7548. That's 702-204-7548. Thank you so much, Rick. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Hey, thank you.
Of course.